pentatonics, mostly like minor pentatonics, but a lot of major pentatonics too, make up the basis for like every guitar solo written since 1950, whether it be B.B. King, Jimi Hendrix, John Mayer, Weezer, Tears for Fears, just Metallica, a slew of different bands. Everybody really who plays guitar knows the minor pentatonic scale. I'm going to show you the most popular version of it, and you can use it to learn every guitar solo you've ever heard, pretty much, and create your own guitar solos and have a blast. The pentatonics are used all over the place in music, whether it be like blues, country, rock, metal, or some nice mellow R&B stuff. So this scale I'm going to teach you is A minor pentatonic. I also would just call it the key of A rock, because you can use it in rock songs, you can use it you know, in all that stuff I talked about earlier. It's not just sad minor stuff. It's also bluesy and rocky. Anyway, so you're just going to use your index finger, your pinky finger, and also your ring finger. Here's the sequence. You got index finger on the 5th fret, pinky finger on the 8th fret, index on the 5th again, ring on the 7th, index on the 5th, ring on the 7th again. Same thing here, index, ring, index, pinky for the B string. Then for the E string, you got index and pinky again. So index, pinky, index, ring, index, ring, index, ring, index, pinky, index, pinky. Your root is right there, that's A. You can also find another one there and there. So there's your 3 things. So if the song's in the key of A, it could be going, or it could be, all that stuff. You can use same scale. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some licks that you can play with that minor pentatonic scale just by adding some bends and hammer-ons and pull-offs and such. So the first one, we're going to start. It's like a classic, like, I don't know, like bluesy Johnny B. Good, Chuck Berry kind of thing. But you hear little variations in everything. So what we do is, there's our root note, right? There's our octave. Right there, we go to the 7th fret of the G string, bend it up a whole step to that note, and we also then play that note, 5th fret on the B string, which is E, and then 5th fret on the E string, which is A. Now here's another lick that you can do, which is very Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin style. So what you do is, there's your root note, there's your A on the high E string. You just play the pinky note, pull off, hit the B string, 5th fret. So you get this index finger barred over the 2. And then I'm just bending. Another one you can do is a little hammer-on, pull-off kind of lick. So that's just, you start here on the 5th fret, hammer on, 5th fret on the E string, hammer on that one, and pull it off. So make sure when you're doing your pull-offs that you don't just pull straight off, you pull downwards. So you actually want to yank like down. Okay? So then you play 8th fret on the B string, then hit that one again, and then walk it down with a little pull off there, 8th and 5th on the B string, and then the A, 7th fret on the D string. So all you got to do to find that pretty stuff is, if this is your root chord, your C major, this right here is kind of where you would put your index finger to find your scale. Now what you can do is slide into that, so you start on your root note on the A string, 3rd fret, which is C, so hit your ring finger there on the 5th fret, and then slide up 2 more frets. And then you can play 5th fret together on the G and B strings, or I'm sorry, on the D and G strings, and go back to that one. You can hammer on the A string, 7th fret, while playing the 5th fret on the G string. Same thing on these sets of strings. So the G and B string, 5th, hammer on the 7th fret of the G string. And here, on the 8th fret on the B string, sliding it back down. Okay, so something that's important to note with all this is, how do you know which scale to use? Well, like I said, if you know the key of the song, then you know what root note you look for on the E string to play the scale. But how do you know if it's major or minor, like if you're going to use a relative minor or if you're just using straight minor? And what do you do if it's blues, kind of thing? What you want to check out is, I have a little chart called the harmonized major scale. And what you want to do is examine the other chords in the songs. So that'll give you the context of what you're playing. So if you find that there is, for instance, an A major and then a G major, so you have 2 letters right next to each other that are majors, that would mean that you are in the key of D major. Now you could also call that A blues, depending on the context of the song. And therefore you can use A minor pentatonic. You can use a major pentatonic too, but that's getting into a whole other thing. You can use a blues scale also, which is a lot like the pentatonic scale, you just add a couple of more notes. But you can learn about that on different sites and stuff too. Anyways, so if it's A7, or you got an A and a G, then you can use A minor pentatonic. Also, if it's A minor, and then the letter under that, G, is major, and the letter under that, G, is also major, F, then you're in the key of A minor, or really, you're in C major. So you could play the C major pentatonic scale, which is the same thing as A minor pentatonic scale. Major, playing that like a C. So we got C major, A minor, F major, G major. You go. So that's A minor pentatonic or C major pentatonic. So read more about the harmonized major scales and blues scales, and you can take it even further. So, but it all starts with that minor pentatonic scale and that particular box shape you will see everywhere. That lick right there, or that. You'll see them all the time. Have fun.